Then, Mr. Patel, morning. Great to have you in ET now. And firstly, wishing you a very happy and healthy 2021.
Same to you. Happy New Year. And I wish every Indian will have a healthy 2021 year.
And it seems to be on course. Are you surprised by how science has won 2 approvals for a vaccine in 6 to 8 months? Isn't that the best way to start the new year?
Definitely, it's a very, very good way to start the new year. And I want to congratulate both my colleagues in the industry for getting the approval.
Indeed. So what does the approval mean for your company in particular now that you are in the phase 3?
So we are basically just got the permission to start the phase 3 very soon. We are starting the phase 3 trial, and based on the phase 3 trial results, we'll have also the vaccine available for the Indian population.
Someone take over, like I'm hiccuping. And by when do you expect the data for phase 3 trials to actually come in?
Available, it depends, of course, because after the vaccination cycle is completed, one need to wait for getting the 165 people getting corona positive, both in placebo and vaccinated arm, and then you can only declare the results. So we would expect the results to be out end March, early April.
Sure. But do you think the vaccine market in the next 6 to 8 months could get into a situation where there would be oversupply?
Very much doubt that, given that the fact that there is a large number of people, not only in India but outside India, require the vaccine, and one would need safe and efficacious vaccine for a very, very long time. Currently, all the vaccines have been tested for a shorter period. So we do not know how often the vaccination will be necessary, how often the vaccine can be given, how often every vaccine can be repeated again and again. So all those questions are still unanswered. So we believe that the market will continue to be there, and we will be able to get the benefit of the market. I think our goal is to provide a safe, efficacious vaccine, not only can be given once, but can be given multiple times. And that's what the DNA vaccine offers, a very unique platform where you can give n number of times the vaccine. There will not be any vaccine immunity developed which would stop vaccine acting. So that is a very good advantage of this platform, and that is what we are basically focused on it. Then we also see the innate response and other responses are happening because of this vaccine, which could be very, very useful. One of the important part of our vaccine is that it's an intradermal vaccine. So unlike other vaccines, it's intramuscular, where the syringe has to go inside it. This is only the intradermal vaccine. So it's a very small prick which is required to be given. It could be also more user-friendly, I would say.
Patel, request you to stay with us. I'm going to take a very quick break and come right back, and we'll continue our discussion with you.
With Mr. Pankaj Patel of Cadila. That's the time we had a little bit of an audio glitch. Mr. Patel, good morning. Nikunj Dalmia also joining in. Mr. Patel, how soon Cadila vaccine will be available? How far are you away from getting that stipulated number of people in the phase 3 trial before you can see a launch of it?
We are basically conducting this trial in approximately 30,000 volunteers, and this will be conducted at approximately 50 to 60 centers. We expect that the trial recruitment should be very quick because of number of centers being hired. And we expect that the trial results should be out end of March, early April.
Okay. Are you also in the process of manufacturing the vaccines at risk, which means that once the trial results are favorable, you will be in a position to roll out the vaccine?
Correct. That's what we are already doing.
How many vaccines, if the trial results are satisfactory by March end, will be ready with you?
So we expect that we should have about 10 million doses ready by March end with us, and then after we will be able to supply about 10 to 15 million doses per month, and subsequently our contract manufacturer will start manufacturing, which would actually further take up the capacity to produce roughly about 20 million doses a month.
Have you had any conversation with the government on what could be the pricing at which you could supply the vaccine to the government and in the open market?
Currently, we did not have any discussion with the government about the pricing, but Nikunj, as we know, we would have the reasonable price.
The Indian consumer now suddenly has options, whether you choose from whenever the Cadila vaccine is ready, or a Bharat Biotech, or a Serum Institute. How does an average person understand the difference between three vaccines and which is the best vaccine, which has the best efficacy? Because a lot of information now is available and choices is available. The problem is when choices are available, you need to analyze them.
So I think, Nikunj, the typical analysis of a vaccine would be based on the safety profile of the vaccine, subsequently the efficacy of the vaccine, and the last factor will be the price. And I think that's the way the Indian consumer will have to evaluate which vaccine to take it. I think the best advice will be, of course, provided by the medical professional, because common man may not understand vaccine as much in detail. I guess the platform which we are using, which is a DNA platform, has been proven platform during SARS-CoV-D, SARS vaccine, SARS epidemic, and also the MERS epidemic, and it was found that time very safe and efficacious. So we believe that our vaccine would offer a very good safety profile along with a very robust immunogenicity. So again, I cannot comment on the other vaccine because I have not seen the data or studied the data in detail, but I can say our vaccine is going to be safe and efficacious.
Vaccine makers so far have got no indemnity clause in case something goes wrong. I hope nothing goes wrong. I really hope and I pray nothing goes wrong. But would you be fighting for an indemnity cover before you launch the vaccine?
No, I don't think we need to, because we will be thoroughly testing the vaccine before we roll out to the public, and we do not see any challenges thereafter.
Mr. Patel, while majority of us are excited and delighted that a vaccine breakthrough has happened, whether it's yours, which is around the corner, or other companies, but there are some who feel that how safe are these vaccines? So medically, if you have to explain that how safe are these vaccines, can you just throw more light on that?
There are a number of vaccines which people are using today, and we have all gone through this different vaccination in past, every human being, right from childhood to even the old age people. And generally all vaccines are found to be very safe. Some minor side effects are seen in some vaccines, but they are not life-threatening or something very serious in nature. So I do not see that safety is going to be a major challenge. And I don't think people have to fear too much about the safety part of the vaccine. It's basically how long the immunity lasts is going to be very critical going forward. Currently, we have a first tool available to fight this pandemic, which is the vaccine, and which is actually going to help us to actually control the pandemic.
How large do you think the COVID vaccine could be for Cadila? Because the demand of COVID vaccine will go beyond India. The demand will come from poor nations. It will come from semi-developed markets. Are you exploring that as a possibility of export of vaccine, and could that be a huge commercial upside for Cadila in second half of this year?
So yes, Nikunj, I think we are already discussing with several countries for supply of vaccines. We are already submitting some information to the regulators on those markets to basically select the path to get into that market. So we do not see any problem or challenge going forward in also getting into those markets, because every country would need a vaccine. And I think India would be able to offer a safe and efficacious vaccine to all these countries. So as for our company, we also see a great potential to also export to different markets.
Just to wrap it up with one more question, Mr. Patel. Do you think vaccines, whether it's produced by Cadila or Serum Institute or Bharat Biotech, they should be commercially made available?
So I think the common man, the freely available vaccine would be only available once the full-scale approval will happen. Currently, the approval is for emergency authorization, and emergency use authorization would be, of course, controlled through the by the regulator. But I think once the full approval will happen, then it will be available for common men also on the market. How long it will take, I don't know today, and I may not be able to answer. And apart from that, Nikunj, I would like to just draw your attention that vaccine is one of the tool we need to fight this pandemic, but we also would need other tools to fight the pandemic. And I'm happy to inform you that our monoclonal antibody cocktail has moved into preclinical toxicity study now, and we expect to submit by end of February the preclinical tox data to move into clinical for the monoclonal antibody cocktail, which would actually help people who get actually COVID. So I think several ways our companies are looking at things, and other companies as well are looking at medicines and treatment as apart from vaccines, to make sure that we collectively, all of us, work together to contain this pandemic.
All right, Mr. Patel, thanks so much for joining us and sharing some of those details and insights with us this morning.